Right, so this is a camera I've been given for review from Omni CCTV again. I did one for them previously, which I quite like that camera. It's a nice quality camera, so I'm expecting the same thing again from this one. So you can see it's WGCC. I'm not quite sure what the difference is here because that's who manufactures it. Yeah, well, it's got WGCC. Yeah, it's an interesting address. Email address, obviously. So anyway, lens 2.8 to 12mm, adjustable zoom. So this could be interesting. So you got a boot there for the Ethernet cable connection for the PoE. Again, it's the one I liked before, where you can actually pass the cable through it and then assemble the boot around the cable, so that you don't have to put a plug on afterwards. You can actually use a pre-made cable. It's a nice design. I like that before in a previous camera. It does the same thing. Installation kit. So you've got some instructions there. Allen key, adjustment tool, template for the installation. So mounting template. So it's quite handy. Makes it easy to get the holes in the right places. Installation document, describing installation, so it'd be this type. So if you can't figure it out, then you know it helps a little bit, I suppose. Here's a little manual for it, quick start guide. So default IP addresses, again same as the other camera, it's got the same default IP address and default login information, so it's all consistent across the brand, which is nice. So if you're always using the same brand, you know how to get into it quite easily without having to mess around looking at how to do it. I think these installation instructions are pretty much the same as the other camera which I reviewed. They look very similar. Although this one could be different because it is a slightly different camera. But it's got the various inputs and outputs on here, so you've got obviously display connection. We'll actually look at the cables themselves, I think they're labelled as well. Audio input, audio output, so it passes through, alarm input, so it's like a signal input for recording, alarm output, so if it senses something, a movement or something like that, it can give an output to an alarm system, or power adapter or IP camera, so or IP network. Now I believe this can do PoE as well, not just a 12 volt connection, but also proper PoE, which is ideal. So you have to run one cable and that's it. So there's the rest of the instructions there. Give you a chance to read them all. If you want to see something, you can pause it and have a look. Okay, so I think there's pretty much the same instructions as the other camera I reviewed. If you haven't seen that, I'll probably link it up there or in the description or something for the other review. So also got mounting hardware there, got a few dowels, wall plugs and screws, and a security index, security Allen key. This must be for the screws for the actual body of the camera, so you can see it's got a security tools head on there. Hope you can see that. There you go. So it's a little bit unusual, at least in my experience. I think it's also allows you to get into the camera to adjust it and set it up. I should put this back in the bag. Right, let's get to the actual camera. It's quite a beast. So it's got this protective film on the plastic there as well. It's probably polycarbonate or could be plexiglass, one or the other. Suspecting polycarbonate. And you see it's all adjustable. You can tilt it over and stuff like that inside there. Hopefully you can see that. We'll get the cover off and actually have a proper look at that. The foam pad on the bottom there, you've got an access screw there to actually run a bit of conduit in if you want instead. Or run the pipes through a piece of conduit. say you want to do it, or run a wire through. So that's probably a standard size, looks like 25mm thread. Looks that way. And there's the details on the bottom. So 12 volt 1 amp, or PoE 48 volt 0.25 amps. Alright, so yeah, sure enough, PoE power supply is available for that. And you've got some QR codes there for various options, obviously software for it. And say lens 2.8 to 12mm, so it's got variable zoom. Okay, let's open it up and we'll have a look at it actually. Let's just go through these first. So here's the alarm input. It's a paired, so blue is ground, brown is alarm. Alright, so it's done in pairs for signals. Audio out and ground, yep. Audio in and ground. Alarm out and the positive and negative, which is interesting, so I'm guessing that's kind of a ground as well. And a BNC video output as well, which is interesting. And PoE connection and 12 volt connection. And it's like serial number on there. Maybe they are different. So I'm not sure what the story is there. Okay, so let's get into it. I'll put this little Allen key thing back out again. And we should use this to get into it. I do have screwdrivers and stuff with these bits on, but I thought I'd use the tool that's supplied and give it a try out. It's rather loose in there actually, but that probably doesn't matter. It's not like you're going to use it a huge amount. It didn't seem like a slipping or anything, just wasn't a very positive fit on the screw head, but it probably doesn't say. It's fine. So, easy tool to use at least. Now, the last camera I did is had like a installation strap between the top piece and the bottom piece, so you wouldn't drop it, things like that. So it's had some nice details. This one has the same thing. Screws are captive, so they don't fall out. Another nice touch. So yeah, captive screws. So if you're installing this thing on the ceiling or on a wall, you're not going to lose the screws. It's got the strap, so you can just hang it from it. It's got a nice rubber gasket in here. Probably silicone actually. Feels like a silicone gasket. Waterproofing in here on the wires as they come in. It's all sealed in. So it feels nice. It's got a reset button here. Micro SD card slot just there, and it's got a CVBS connector just there. I'm not quite sure what that's for. I'm guessing that's infrared LED option or something. I'm guessing. So it's only got 2 pins. Looks like it's only got 2 pins. So it's probably just a infrared LED connection for different options. Now this rotates around this way. So the whole body turns, so you can change any orientation you want, and I'm guessing this will do some other stuff too. Also it will tip and rotate, just loosen these up a little bit. So also tip over like so, and it looks like it may also turn in another direction based on this. Looks like it's got another turning option maybe. Not sure, might not do it. May just be a rear housing. Yes, it is a rear housing. But the combination of those two should mean you've got the ability to set it any angle you want, I suppose. There's also an adjustment in here. Right, so this will be the zoom adjustment. This is electronically controlled. So I can get it side on so you can see it. Just turn it around a bit and we'll get it a bit sim. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, so you can see there's a little tooth wheel just there. It's all dark, so it's a bit hard to see with the light. Even though I've got really good lighting here, it's a bit hard to see it. So let's zoom in. probably run the risk of going out of camera shot. So, right, so there's a little teeth wheel there, little gear, and so there's a little motor system here, a little motor there. I can see it. So that obviously turns that outer housing to adjust the zoom level. And so you can see on the back there, I mean, it all looks nice. It's got a cable timer in here to hold those cables in place. It's a nice little touch. So it does adjust once, so they're loose enough to knurled edges, so you can actually do them by hand. It's also got a screwdriver slot there, so you can lock it in place once it's set. Yeah, it all looks like it's a really nice design. Does it have a stop on it? Yes, it does. It goes that far and stops. And the other way also should stop. Yes, it does. So you can go 360 degrees right around, pretty much. Let's see. So SD card slot, so you can also record to SD card or take stills or whatever as well as sending it through the network as a backup system. So I'll just show you those in a bit more detail. Now it's a bit closer. So there you go. And as you can see in there as well, it's also got a silica bag shoved in there to keep back any moisture which may get into it, so it absorbs it all, so you don't get fogging up inside it. And it looks like there's a little sensor just there. I'm not quite sure what that is. Looks like a sensor just there. It may be an infrared thing, I'm not sure. Maybe infrared behind this shield here, which you can't see. I'm not sure. Let's have a closer look. Can't tell. Can't tell if it's behind there or not. Yeah, all looks fine, doesn't it? All looks quite nice. So yeah, this is a rather sturdy, well built, well designed camera from what I can tell. It's it feels like a nice camera. It doesn't feel like a cheap camera. You get that feel from just the quality is not there, but this feels like it's a really nice quality camera, just like the previous one I reviewed for them as well. It mentions here about waterproof gasket being properly installed when the screws are fastened. I'm guessing that means on the bottom piece here, maybe, I'm not sure, but there'll be information about that. So it can go outside as well, not just inside, as you can see by the fact it's got this waterproofing going on. So okay, so now I'm going to set up my NVR and a screen and stuff like that, and we'll hook it up and we'll try and configure it and get it all set up. Okay, so here's the settings I'm going to go into. So I've got this hooked up to my computer first, and I've got my network still configured on, because my computer's got two networks for the Ethernet. So Ethernet 2 is the one I'm using, and that's the settings I'm using to get into the camera. So this is left from the last time I did a review, and yeah, so it's using 192.168.1.1. It could use .0.1, but it depends on the firmware on the camera, as noted in the instruction manual. So that's what it's using. So let's get a browser up, and here we go. It's gone straight in. So it's actually with the login password from the last time I was playing the other camera. So let's have a look. Missing plugin, yeah, but I know that because I'm on a Mac, but that's fine. So we'll have a look around anyway, and we'll see what's actually in here. Playback options, so yeah, again, no support for that. Photo options, so it's probably off the SD card. Again, still no plugin, so that's understandable. So you can have a look at the settings at least. So date and time is wrong after obviously look at fixing those settings, but the fact it's actually got one is surprising. Must have a little backup battery inside it or something for the real-time clock. So it's just like the other unit here. It's got lots of these are shortcuts to, this is nice common features which you want to look at. So same as the other camera, it's got all the same kind of options in here by the looks of it. So we'll just have a look at each one. I don't know what half these settings even do. Coding format. Yeah, this is obviously for the SD card part. DHCP, yeah, but I'll need to change these settings, so I can actually connect it to my DVR or my NVR, because it has different network settings. So I need to, once I finish playing around I'll have to change it to work on the network on the NVR. Change these options in here to be a static IP address and change them manually. But that's not really a big deal. Time setting, yeah, well, it's there we go. Sync. Server, TMS server. I don't know what that is. Someone else will be familiar with that, I'm sure, whoever uses it. Live view again, because I've still got a missing plugin, because plugin's not available on Mac. And different views and stuff you can do on here. It's very similar to the other interface and the other camera I reviewed before. Login type, so there's a pop-up menus in here. So that's like a shortcut thing. So this is all the main ones. DNS, so you've got DNS server settings. Its internal configuration for its ports, dynamic DNS, peer-to-peer, email settings, so you want email snapshots and stuff like that, or alerts. Add to X, I'm not quite sure what this is actually for. Maybe it's for remote access protocol or something. Video settings, this is where it gets a bit more interesting. Well, this stuff I understand. So it's got 3 streams possible, and these are the quality settings. So 25 frames a second set on all of them. H.264, it's 265, and MJPEG. Right, so we'll leave those as defaults. Oh, let's drop that one down now. But 265. Interesting. We've also got the 4 megapixel option here, so you've got the various generic types, and I'll set this all up. Actually a snapshot, isn't it? So I want high quality, so 6144, there we go. Mind you, I haven't done a save otherwise, so I should be able to go back and go back in again, back to where it was. Yeah, there it was. So quality, so you can choose quality over bitrate settings, so I want highest quality, I don't care about bitrate. Variable bitrate, there we go, highest quality. 25 frames, yeah, that'll do. Third stream, let's just go 10 frames. Oh, 10 frames in that one. Make it a bit slower. Just to reduce the bandwidth across the whole thing slightly. Not going to change by much, but hopefully slightly. Smoothing. Yeah. SVC, I'm not sure what SVC means. Smart encoding. No idea what that does. I guess it could take control of it for you and does various settings by itself. And power NTSC, so that's fine. I'm going to say this setting. Snapshot options. So if you want to take screenshots, it does that. That's the resolution it's going to set to. Image quality, well, you want high quality, don't you, if you want to take snapshots. You want it to be, anyway. You want to make the most of it. Audio input and output. Audio input, I've got it disabled in here. Default settings disabled. That's fine, that's what I'm going to be using. I'm not going to be using any audio input or output on this device. At least I don't think it will be. Who knows, that may change. ROI, I'm not quite sure what that is. And media streaming. And yeah, no, I don't know what those are. It's probably in the manual. Quality settings for the picture quality. Advanced defogging, yeah, white balance stuff. Smart illumination. Oh, okay, so the infrared lighting, stuff like that. And lots of settings in here. So if you want to look at any of these, just pause it and have a look. on-screen display. It's a bit hard to show when I don't actually have a picture to show, because on my Mac it just doesn't work, but on a PC it'll work. The other camera worked just fine on the PC. So you can overlay various options like date and times currently being overlaid. Privacy mask, if you've got, like a bedroom or something, you want to cover the bed up, that kind of thing, or a till and you've got to cover up the credit card terminal, things like that, whatever you want to do. Smart settings, so you can set up various things for it to check for face detection or crossing a section in the screen, if for setting movement or going past a point, or picture changing significantly, or people counting apparently. So you can choose times of day and stuff like that. This is all exactly the same as the other unit in that regard. Yeah, so you can set time frames as well. It's all the same. Yeah, alarm modes. So motion detection, tampering, audio detection, alarm input and alarm output. So that's all configurable. Storage options, so it's obviously got the SD card option, which you can format from here once you've got one installed. Start fresh. You can specify how much space to save or space to use for each kind of event, which is handy, so you can balance it out for what you want to do. And you can do, looks like, not sure, maybe it's not available because the device isn't plugged in, but the yeah, there we go. It's because I haven't got a memory card in this, probably won't allow me to do anything in here. Right, FTP stuff, so if you want to sending stuff to an FTP server, you can do that too. Security settings, now it's got heaps of stuff in here, and so it just keeps on going and going. So users, you add users to this, or edit them, change passwords, etc. Network security, so HTTPS, I'm not using that, although it might be an option if you're worried about security on your network. So let's flip through each option. I mean, those things I just don't really know what I'm doing, but IP address filtering, so if you only want to have certain devices to access the camera, so you want to restrict it to make sure that only a main administrator computer or something can access it, then you can put the IP address in here so only that can access. That way nothing else can get into the camera which isn't supposed to be there. Telnet as well, it's usually used for firmware updates or recovery and stuff like that, but commonly used for that kind of thing. Hide event info, on or off. Watermarking, on or off. Okay, and main system, so you've got time there, which I've already done on the other page. Server stuff, I don't know what this is for, and maintenance. So we've got firmware upgrades, restarting device, configuration. You can export the configuration to save it, so you can restore it if you have an issue with it crashing, or or if you're doing a firmware update and you have to restore the settings or something maybe. And power input, and turn the 12-volt input on, which is interesting. So yeah, that's all the settings that's in there. So it's fairly comprehensive. It's just the same as the other camera, so it does a lot of stuff. So this has been a long video covering this, hasn't it? Okay, so I think that's it for now. Okay, so there's the camera's now hooked up. I've already gone into the settings here and already configured it. So I had to change on my computer was the subnet mask to include the range that I use on this device, so that I could actually then this device could communicate with it. I also changed the number from 13 to 103, so it's going to be camera number 3 in the end, so I'll probably leave it at that, 103 or something. Maybe other ones 102, 101, and so on. Probably something like that, I don't know yet. I've still got all the default settings and passwords and stuff in everywhere, but so this today, search has come up as OnViv and or OnViv, and Just did a search on that and found it straight away, and just clicked on it, transferred it over, done. Alright, did a save, it's in there. So it's nice and easy to configure. And it's a really wide angle lens on this one. So this is zoomed fully out. I went a little bit of play with it just now just to get my head around how it works. So that's zoomed fully out right now. You can see some curvature on here, as you expect from such a wide angle lens. Bit of fisheye effect there. So I think it's 2.8mm, wasn't it? Something like that. So you're going to expect that. But it covers a very large area. Now if I go into the PTZ control, here we go, that's what I'm looking for, PTZ. So you can control the focus if you need to, right, for whatever reason. Right, so you main focus control if you need that for whatever reason, and the zoom that in. So it's got a stage where it zooms in and it automatically focuses itself and shifts around trying to find the right focus level, and then it's good. Right, so it's a nice sharp picture still, so I zoom in again. Okay, and one more. Right, so that's fully in there. Right, that's as far in as it will zoom. So that's still, you know, a very small section. If you go like from that plant there to this plant over here, so work out roughly how big that is. So it's the edge of that plant to the edge of that plant. So we'll show it on the main screen. So it comes fully out. Okay, so it's zooming into here to there. Oh look, there's one of my cats. So it's going to that angle there, into that zoom, into that area. So it's zooming quite a long way. But yeah, it's working fine. You know, it's this first PTZ camera I've actually had. So I haven't had one before, so it's a bit of a new experience for me actually using a PTZ. But it'd be good once I actually get this set up on my network properly and in use. But iris control, I don't know, you see like a flicker, but you don't really see much happen there. Maybe it'll show up more at night or something, I'm not sure. But you can see it jump. Maybe it's just communication going through the network, maybe if it's in the picture, but I don't know. I'm not really seeing much difference there. I don't know if it's got iris control or not. And you don't have any direction controls because it's not a movement camera, it's just a zoom camera. But yeah, it works quite nicely. So we can see the date and time up on the camera in the corner here, off the camera itself. Or is that off the camera itself? I'm not sure which one it is actually. I think that's the camera itself here. That's the camera there, and this one here will be from the NVR. So yeah, but it looks nice. I haven't changed any colour settings. I've changed nothing on the image to try and improve the quality. It's just that's the way it is. So if I go into the image settings, so you can see the default settings. So I can brighten it up, you know, if I need to, but it doesn't really need it. You know, it's just it looks like it's reasonable. Contrast, you know, play with all that sort of things, or maybe. But that's all the NVR settings. It doesn't actually need them on the camera itself. So it's sort of fading out between sunny and not. That's why the picture quality is changing a bit as well at the same time. It's now overcast, so it's a bit darker. But and also the actual quality you get straight into the NVR and recordings will be different to what you see on screen here anyway, because it's just whatever the screen has to be showing to. But yeah, it all works quite nicely. I'm quite happy with it. Again, so it's another nice quality camera from the same company that did the last one, and they look very similar. This one's just a lot bigger, and you can see it gives a nice quality picture. You know, it will have the interface for the PC as well, like I did on the previous review for the other camera. That will allow you to see the picture and adjust stuff within the camera itself. Obviously I can adjust it on the Mac, but I can't see what I'm doing. So there's not much point in doing that. But on the PC it'll work just fine. I'm sure it will. The other camera will work perfectly well on the PC. And this is the same interface, so there's no reason why it shouldn't work nicely too. And so it's really easy to set up, it just worked, you know, which is exactly what you want. So I just did a search like that, found it, clicked on it, transferred it over, done. It was literally that easy. Alright, so no problem at all. You can see it's had a previous stuff been playing with over here for other cameras, but this is the model number here, UNIPC-2204FWD-IZS. So yeah, that's all good. So thanks a lot for watching the video. So here's the Amazon link, the actual web page for the camera. So you can see here it's got a value of $229.99 US. So I believe that's US dollars. I expect it probably is. Doesn't tell me. Probably is anyway. And so here's some basic specs here, which covers what it's supposed to do. 30mm infrared range. So 4 megapixel possible. And obviously the SD card slot up to 128 gigabytes of card. And obviously the inputs and outputs, which I showed you before. And the various encoding formats. And it's got this IK10, which I believe is a vandal resistance rating or something, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, so it covers a lot of stuff. And let's have a look, what else we got here. It's showing all the same stuff I showed before pretty much in my own video with the testing and just examples and things, generic examples, and there's that kit which comes with it. So yeah, I mean it's a nice camera, and it's a, for the quality it's actually a really good price, I suppose. Actually, you know, it is a good quality camera. It feels solid. It does feel like it's a nice, well-made device. So I think for the price, actually, it's reasonable. I paid, you know, as much as that for cameras which aren't as good as this in the past. So in my mind, it looks good. So there you go. So I'm able to file this link down in the description. It'll be down there, which will bring you to this page. And if you're interested in buying one, then certainly do, or check out their store. What else comes up from here? So various options. This is just, it does like a search on Amazon. It's a search for that term. So it brings up some other stuff too. But yeah, but you can see some other devices. It's got some MBRs and stuff like that there, and other cameras and bits and pieces. So you have to make sure you actually look for the store name there. So they do quite a broad range of stuff there. Anyway, that's that. So make sure you check out the links, and thanks for watching the video, and be sure to buy one if you're interested. Helps me to get more gear to trial. I mean, this camera I've got for free at no charge to me, so you know I'm certainly very happy about it. So